Good evening. Today is November. No, it's not. It's not November. What am I talking about? It's January. It's January 9th, 2024. We're having our first coaching call with Tom. All right, Tom. So you ready to get rocking and rolling?
I am.
All right. Got your pen and paper ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay. So what we're going to go through today is the most important part of the training, which is the foundation. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to establish a foundation with you so you can understand where this training is going. And then we're going to talk about the most important part, which is getting appointments and how that works. Okay. So
Yep.
the first thing we're going to go over and is the goal. The goal of everything I'm going to teach you is to book your calendar with strategy sessions. So write that down. The goal is to fill your calendar with strategy sessions.
Got it.
And then, of course, to close the sales. Okay.
Yep.
That's the goal. So everything I'm going to teach you is going to lead to that. Okay. Because a lot of people don't realize in your business, you may call a strategy session a presentation or a company overview. I don't know the names that you guys call it. There's a reason I use the word strategy session because, I say words matter, right? Well, one of the things I've learned over the years, I've been in so many different types of sales. In regular sales, what happens is you get a lot of people that don't show up, no shows, what we used to call them. And the reason why they don't show is because they think they're going to be sold something. So there's certain words that make them think, uh-oh, if I go sit in front of this salesperson, he's going to sell me something, so I'm not going to show up. You understand?
Right.
The one word that I've learned, or the one words that I've learned that prevent that from happening is giving away free strategy sessions. I have a 97% show ratio because of it. So I don't call them presentations or overviews or nothing. Strategy session, because that's what they want. They want a strategy to solve their problem. Make sense?
Yep.
So that's the reason why we use the word strategy session. So in your mind, you don't make presentations, you don't sell anything. You know what you do? You give away a free hour strategy session.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So now how do we do that? So the first thing we're going to talk about is what I call the audio business card system, ABC system. It's an audio business card system. Now, an audio business card system consists of three parts. The first part is called the audio business card. And an audio business card is verbiage that it's kind of like, you ever heard of like an elevator pitch?
Yep.
Okay, write down the word elevator pitch next to the word audio business card.
Okay.
Got that written down?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Cross that off and say, I'm never ever saying an elevator pitch again.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't teach elevator pitches. Elevator pitches are old, outdated, 50-year-old technology that every sales trainer coach teaches, and they don't work very well. And you'll see why in a minute. Okay. I teach something at a much, much higher level than an elevator pitch. Okay. So I'm not going to give you any scripts. I'm going to teach you a formula. That's what you're going to learn today. It's a
Okay.
formula. So you're going to learn the audio business card formula. And here's what it is. It's I plus action word plus target market plus so they can I actually word target market. Oh, I apologize. I actually word target market results plus so they can plus benefit. I action word target market results so they can benefit. You want to learn that sentence just like that. I action word target market results so they can benefit. That is the foundation of your business, and you'll understand that in a minute because that's what's going to fill your calendar. I action word target market results so they can benefit. You want to learn to sing it, kind of like back in the day we learned the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? That's how we learned it, right? So
Right.
learn this audio business card the same way. Learn your ABCs the same way. I action word target market results so they can benefit. Sing it. You know what I mean? So it can become part of you. You'll understand why when we start going through the process of what it does. Okay.
Okay.
So if I ask you what's your name, my name's Tom. What's the formula? I action word, target market, result, something, a bit of it. Got to know it, just like that. You'll understand why. This is one of the things that people, when you learn how to use the audio business card, you'll never ever be without leads or prospects. Never. Okay. So the audio business card formula. Here's let me break it down now. It's I. So when someone asks you what you do, they didn't ask you your company name. They didn't ask you your title. They didn't ask you how long you've been there, what you do for a living, how your company works, how many years they've been involved. No, they said, what do you do? So you are the business. So what you want to do from this point on, even though you're part of a company, it's your business. Any income you generate is from what you do, right? So
Right.
it's your business. The company is your product supplier. You're the business. You understand? When you're out networking, you're trying to generate business, no one knows your company.
Right.
But you're the company.
Yep.
So you have that in mindset. So when they say, what do you do? It's I. So that's the first thing. And then action words. So what are some action words? Let me give you a list of action words. I teach. You can say I coach. I show. You can say I work with. I work with. Work with. I like work with. That's one of my favorite ones I use. You can say I provide. I mentor. You can say I train. I help. There's many different action words you can use. And you'll want to learn different ones because you can mix and mingle depending on who you're speaking to and what the situation is.
Sure.
So I action word, target market. So who is the target market? Well, it's the person you're speaking to. Okay. So in other words, let's say if I was at a networking event and your product again is payroll services and business services like that, right? HR, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
HR and payroll services. Yep.
Payroll services. So if I was talking to a business owner and I was in your business and they said, well, what do you do? What I do is I work with small business owners that have anywhere from 5 to 50 employees, and I show them how to streamline their payroll and save money on their HR so they can retain their employees longer and keep more money in their bank account. And they'll be like, well, how do you do that? Tell me, how does that work? you get it?
Yep.
You see, so what I did is I told him something that he wanted to hear. Okay, so target market. Who's the target market? It was him. So I said things that he needed to hear. Now, if I'm talking to someone and I meet someone and let's say you do payroll services and I'm talking to you, I'd say, what do you do? What I do is I work with business owners that are trying to track new clients on online or offline marketing, like for their either inbound traffic or they want appointments in their calendar. I show them how to put 5, 10, 15 appointments in their calendar every week so they can make more money and double their income this year. What are you going to say? How do you do that? If I'm talking to a realtor and a realtor says, what do you do, Steve? And I say, what I do is I work with people in the profession like insurance agents, marketing professionals, real estate professionals, real estate agents and brokers. And what I do is I show them how to get 5 to 10 extra listings a week so they can sell an extra 2 or 3 houses a month. What is a realtor going to say? Well, how do you do that? No matter who I'm speaking to, I can whip out an audio business card to cover them. Why? Because I know the formula. You understand?
Right. Yep.
Elevator pitches can't do that.
Right.
Right. So this formula is what I want you to learn. So target market. There's 3 ways to target the market. You can target the industry. So you can say, I work with realtors or mortgage professionals or business owners. That's one way. Or you can target a demographic. I work with women between 50 and 70. I work with business owners that generate an income between 5 million and 50 million. You can come up with a demographic. But you can also talk about, which is my favorite, is I like to talk about the problem that they have that I solve. See, I know business owners, small business owners would have a problem like they want to be able to retain their employees longer. They want to be able to they want to streamline their payroll services and make it more cost effective. They want to be able to save money on their payroll, on their outsourcing. They want to not outsource their HR. They want to keep it in-house, or actually they want to make it outsourced so they can cut down on some of that expenses and costs. You see, I know what they want. Even though I'm not in your business, I still know what they want.
Right. Sure.
You understand?
Yep.
So I talk about the target market, and that's the problem that they have. You understand? So I identify the problem. So you can do multiple. I can say I work with businesses between 5 million and 50 million, and usually I work with the owners that are struggling with maintaining their employees, and also ones that have a problem with their payroll and they really want to save money on their payroll because they're paying too much money to the government. I can cover 3 different targets in one thing. Does that make
Yep.
sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so I action word target market. Results. What are the results that they want? That's the key. It's not the results that you want to talk about, it's the results that they want. So you know your client, you know what results they want. They want to save money in their taxes. They want to save money in payroll. They want to put more money towards the bottom line. They want to increase their profitability. They want to make sure their employees are happier. And I mean, you know all the problems that a business owner wants, right?
Sure.
So those are the results they want. And then so they can write down, underline the words so they can. Because so they can is kind of like setting up for the punchline of a joke. You know, you got a joke, you're gonna do all this stuff, and then you got your last thing right before the punchline, bam, then you're gonna release it, right? Well, the punchline of the joke is the benefit. You know, they want to be able to save money on their payroll services so they can increase their bottom line profits for the year end statement.
Sure.
See what I'm saying? So that's how
Yep.
they get them to listen to you.
Yep.
So you want to think through and make a list of what are the results your target audience wants, and then what are the benefits of those results. So you tie those two together. So that's what you want to do when you get home, or when you're doing your homework, is think through what are the results and the benefits of the results, so that we can craft that audio business card, those different audio business cards for you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that's kind of how the audio business card works. I kind of equate it to fishing. So imagine if you wanted to go fishing, right? There's a few things you got to do. First thing you got to decide is, well, what kind of fish do I want to eat? Right? So you guys think, okay, I want salmon. So that's the same thing here. So you got to think, okay, who do I want to talk to? I want owners. I want business owners that have 5 to 50 employees. You got to think about who you want. Then after that, you got to think, okay, where do I catch salmon? Well, I guess I can go to the ocean to catch salmon, but it'd be difficult to catch salmon in the ocean, right? So I think, well, let me think. Where do the salmon hang out? They're in rivers, and if I find out where the bears are, because bears know where the salmon are, so if I find the bears, I'll find the salmon, right? So
Sure.
same thing. So where do my business owners hang out? Well, let's see. What kind of networking groups do they hang out at? Do they hang out at Alignable? Maybe some of them, but guess what? They might hang out at the associations. They might hang out at the chambers of commerce business. So we can think where these businesses hang out. Because if you go to where all the businesses are, then it's just like picking, you know, candy from a candy store, right? It's easy then, because they're all business owners, and you know they all have problems.
Sure.
Okay, so that's the next thing. So we're going to do that together. Okay.
Okay.
So now that you've figured out where your salmon are, now you got to have some tools. You got to catch the salmon. You got to think about it. Okay, well, I need a pole. I need a string on the pole. I need some bait. I need some worms. I need a lure. I need a hook. And I need a bucket to put the fish in. Right? So in the same way, so your audio business card is equivalent to your pole, your string, your bait, and your lure. Right? So you get your string, you tie it on the big old fat night crawler, and you throw it in the water, and the fish like, wow, that looks delicious. What the heck is that over there? And they come swim it over to you, right? Well, that's the same thing when you do a networking event and you say to someone, well, what do you do? What I do is I work with business owners that have 5 to 50 employees, and I show them how to reduce their taxes by saving money on their payroll and saving money on all their business expenses, like their not only their payroll, but their HR services, so they can keep that money towards the bottom line profits for Christmas parties and things like that, bonuses for the employees. Wow, how do you do that? Right? You see, they got
Sure.
the fish now looking at you, swimming towards you now.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the first step. So that's the first thing. So with the audio business card, here's your first set of homework. Your first homework is to memorize the formula, because I do spot checks. So sometimes I'll say, so tell me the audio business card formula. You better rattle that sucker off. I actually work target market results so you can benefit. You got to know it. Okay.
Sure.
That's the first part. The second part of the homework is to write out 10 different audio business cards with 10 different target markets, 10 different results, 10 different benefits, so you can learn to mix and match. You know, I'm not going to give you a script. You're going to write out ones that you've created that feel comfortable to you, that makes
Sure.
sense. And then what we're going to do is you're going to practice them. And then when you come back, I'm going to peel them up and make sure you take the bad words out and put the right words in, and we're going to clean it up to make where it's really effective. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So that's your homework. Will you do your homework?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that's step one. That's the first part of the 3 parts of the audio business cards formula. Okay.
Okay.
So then from there, you go to the second part, which is called openers. Openers. Openers are where we try to find out if a person is open to what we do. You know how some salespeople talk about, try to find out if people are interested in their products and services? Yeah. So what you do, write down the word interested next to the word openers.
Okay.
Can you get that word down?
Yep.
Okay, good. Cross that off and say, I'm never ever using the word interested again.
Okay.
Here's why. The word interested is a buying word. See, if you ask someone if they're interested too early, you're almost always going to get a no, because that means
Right.
you're almost selling. You might as well ask them for a credit card right up front. You know what I'm saying? You ask them if they're interested. How do they know if they're interested? They don't even know what you do yet. So why are you going to ask them if they're interested? It makes no sense. What you got to do is learn how to ask them if they're open to learning more. Write that down. Open to learning more.
Sure.
That's what you're trying to find out. Or open to learning some ways. Open to learning some ways. Those are the 2 phrases I use most of the time. Are you open to learning more or open to learning some ways? So it kind of sounds like this. You talk to a business owner and you say, well, what do you do? Well, they ask you, what do you do? What I do is I work with business owners, help them reduce their payroll and their HR department cost down anywhere from 10 to 50%, so they can keep that money towards their bottom line profit and have more profitability for the company. And they say, wow, that's amazing. How do you do that? I said, well, I have a system in place. Why are you open to learning some ways to be able to reduce your your payroll taxes in your HR department? Yeah, I'd love to learn how to do that. Okay, great. Boom. Got them. Get it? So the opener finds out if they're open. Because if you ask them if they're interested, some people say, oh, I don't know if I'm interested, but I'm open to learning more. Okay, great. Well, that's what I wanted anyway.
Right. Sure.
You see? But salespeople are trained. Go ask people if they're interested. Go find out who's interested. That's what they're all taught. That's because the people teaching them ain't in the field doing it.
Right.
You understand? And I
Sure.
learned over the years I was saying the wrong words. I was wondering why nobody's interested. Well, of course they're not interested. They don't even know what I'm doing yet. So how could they be interested?
Right.
You see, words matter. That's why you got to
Yep.
learn the right words. And most people don't know how many sales they've lost by using that word interested.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's one word you want to eliminate completely. Okay.
Yep.
So open to learning more. So now there's 7 different openers I'm going to give you. The first opener is, are you open to? ... Are you open to? So you can say, are you open to learning some ways to be able to save money on your payroll taxes for your company? Are you open to learning some ways to be able to reduce your expenses on your payroll services? Are you open to learning some ways to be able to retain your employees a lot longer? Are you open to ways to offer some additional benefits to your employees at no cost? You can come up with all kinds of different things. Are you open to?
Yep.
Okay. The second opener is, have you ever considered? Have you ever considered? Have you ever considered of learning some ways to be able to reduce your FICA taxes? Have you ever considered learning some ways to be able to offer some additional benefits to your employees at no cost? Have you ever considered some ways to be able to reduce your payroll taxes down by 10 to 20%? No, I didn't know that was even possible. Is that what you do? As a matter of fact, that is what I do. What I do is I show business owners how to reduce their FICA taxes and their payroll taxes down 10, 20% so they can keep that money towards the bottom line of their company. Are you open to learning how to do it? Yeah, I'm open to learning how to do it. Well, I don't know if I'd be interested in it. I don't know either. That's why I say if you're open to it, I can show it to you. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, no big deal.
Sure.
You
Yep.
see how that works?
Yep.
Very powerful. So opener, the second opener. The third opener is, do you keep your options open? You keep your options open. So you can say, do you keep your options open to learning some ways to be able to save on your FICA taxes? Do you keep your options open to ways to be able to increase the profitability of your company? You know, so you can ask different ways. The
Yep.
reason give you multiple is so you don't always sound like a robot. So you can sound personable with each person. And you don't get bored. Because if you say the same script all the time, you get bored of your own darn script after a while. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So number four, I even have to do that when I'm doing my strategy sessions. Sometimes I got to add new stuff to it and make it more fun for me because
Sure.
if not, I get bored of my own darn presentation after a while.
Right.
I've almost fallen asleep on me giving a presentation before, just because I've said it so many times. It's just in the fourth stage. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I've had to add new stuff and be creative and make it funny, and I had to do all kinds of stuff to keep myself awake
Right.
in my
Yep.
own presentation. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so number four, the fourth opener is, do you think it would make sense? Do you think it would make sense? Do you think it would make sense for us to hop on a Zoom and learn some ways to be able to save money on your FICA taxes? Do you think it would make sense for us to look at some ways to be able to maybe reduce your payroll taxes down 10, 20%? Yeah, I do think it would make sense to do that. Okay, great. So that's another one. Do you think it would make sense?
Yep.
Number five is, do you think it would help? Do you think it would help? Do you think it would help if you learn some ways to be able to reduce your FICA taxes? Do you think it would help the bottom line if you learn some strategies to save 20, 30% of your payroll taxes? Your payroll? Yeah, I think it would help. It helped big time right now.
Sure.
Yeah. You see how you can mix and match different openers?
Yep.
Okay. So
Makes
you want to,
sense.
yeah, so you want to learn those. Now there's two other openers, but these are a little different. These are what are called opener questions. Opener questions. Now, opener questions are designed not at the beginning of a presentation, but usually at the end of the presentation after you've built some rapport. Because these are designed to give you permission to ask deep questions. Because you might run into someone that maybe doesn't have a lot of money up front, or maybe they don't, you need to ask some questions about their company. But you can't just come out and start asking these deep questions because they'll shut you down. So you got to get permission from them. Okay, so there's two ways to do it. One of them, number six, the sixth opener is, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. So the way I like to phrase it is, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your business, if you don't mind. So there's 5 different ways. So write this down: business, company, health, family, and finances. So it'll go like this. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your business, if you don't mind. No, I don't mind. Okay, great. How many employees do you guys have? Do you have a payroll person that works for you? How much are you spending on payroll? How much are you paying spending on HR? You can ask any question you want now because they gave you permission. You know, or you might have asked some questions about, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your company, if you don't mind. No, I don't mind. Are you are you a corporation, a LLC, or you can start asking deep questions. Or do you mind if I ask you some questions about your family? I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your family, if you don't mind. No, not at all. How many kids do you have? How many? You could ask whatever you want. Another one is finances. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your finances, if you don't mind. No, I don't mind. What's your credit score? What kind of credit cards do you use? Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Oh, Visa? Okay. What's your balance on your Visa? What's your balance on your American Express? What's your limit? Okay. How much do you have in your 401k? I'll ask all kinds of questions because I'm trying to help them find the money to pay me.
Oh, okay.
I had a
Yeah.
person the other day, he said,
Mhm.
I just want to stop you right up front. I don't have any money. I said, I'm not worried about the money. That's easy. I said, because most of the people, if they want something bad enough, they find the money. So I'm not worried about money. Let's just go through the presentation. So at the end of the presentation, he said, yeah, I really want to do it, but I don't have the money. I said, okay, I understand. But you really want to do it? He goes, yeah. I said, okay, well, do you mind if I ask you some questions about your finances? He goes, no, not at all. I said, what's your credit score? He goes, my credit score is pretty good. I said, pretty good as in 600, 700, or 800. He goes, it's about 750. I said, okay. What credit cards do you use? Visa, MasterCard, American Express. He said, Visa. I said, well, I have a couple of Visas. I said, okay, which on the first one, what's the balance? He said 8,000. I said, what's the limit? 15,000. Okay, what's the balance of this one? Okay, well, we found the money. And then I showed him and he signed up. You see how that works?
Yep,
but he gave me permission to ask deep questions.
yep,
And I've never had anybody ever say no when I ask those opener questions. But if I ever don't ask it, then they give me a little bark back. Oh, that's personal. I don't want to give you that.
right,
See?
yep,
So it's a
makes
way,
sense.
it's a way to get them to open up to you. Okay.
Yep,
So the first one is if you don't mind. Like I said, the way I like to say it is I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about your business if you don't mind.
yep,
I use that verbiage word for word because every word has a meaning to it. Okay. The next way you say it, number 7, is just reversed. Do you mind if I? Is the opener. Do you mind if I? So you can say, do you mind if I ask you some questions about your business? Do you mind if I ask you some questions about your health? Do you mind if I ask you some questions about your company, or about your finances, or about your family? See, they're generic enough that you can ask all kinds of questions once you get in there.
sure,
You see, but they don't know what you're going to ask, so they're going to say yes.
right,
Right. Especially after you've already built rapport and they want to do business with you. Does that make sense?
yep,
Okay, so here's your homework assignment on this one. First of all, on the first 5, you need to write 5 openers for each one of the 5. So it's a total of 25 openers. So in other words, you start off with, are you open to? You say, are you open to learning some ways to be able to save money in your payroll? Are you open to learning some ways to save money in your taxes or save money in your HR department? However you want to phrase it. Do those 5 in a row and then do the next 5 and then do the next 5. So you have a total of 25. Not because you're going to use them all, because I want to teach you how to get the marbles out of your mouth. So you
sure,
can learn how to flow from which one to which one at certain times. Okay. And then the other 2, number 6 and 7, I want you to write them out, but I've already given you the answers. Business, finances, company, health, and family. So just write, I was wondering if I could ask the question about your business. I was wondering if I could ask some question about your health. Just write them out and then say them. Because again, I'm just trying to help you learn the language. You
yep.
understand? So,
Now, in my specific case,
yes.
um, I don't know that I'd ever ask about their health or their family. I don't,
I know, I know, I
yeah,
know. Well, you might, because what if you just build a rapport with the person? You still want to be polite
okay,
and say, I was wondering if I can
yeah,
ask you a question about your family. Yeah,
okay,
you married, you kid, you have kids. You
yeah,
could. See, the whole point is I'm teaching you how to use the verbiage so you can learn it in everyday life.
okay,
If you use that, if you don't mind and do you mind if I, in just everyday life, you'll get more stuff.
right.
You ask your wife, honey, you might have asked the questions about your day. No, no, how's your day? You just do that just naturally. She'll be more than
Yeah.
happy to tell you about her day now.
All right, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
versus what did you do today, honey? You see the difference?
right, right.
Yeah, it's the
Gotcha.
little things.
Okay,
So I'm teaching you a new language so you can learn how to get this in your vocabulary
okay,
versus just at work.
yep,
Because once you learn this, then when you're out and about, you can get prospects everywhere, everywhere. When you're at the grocery store, you can be talking to someone. So, by the way, what do you do for a living? Oh, I own this company over here. Oh, really? How long you been owning that company? 17 years. Wow, that's amazing. Business doing well? Yeah, it's doing well. Well, and they'll say, wow, that's totally different than my business. Well, what do you do? What I do is I work with small businesses and I show them how to reduce their FICA taxes or their payroll taxes and their payroll and what was the other one again? HR and
HR, yep,
the HR expenses so they can increase their bottom line by 10, 20% every month. Really? Well, how do you do that? Well, actually, I have a system in place. Why are you open to learning some ways to be able to do that for your business? I am. Well, I'm really busy right now because we're at the grocery store. But if you give me a name and number, what I could do is set up a time to pop by and maybe give you some information on that. Would you be open
sure,
to that? Yeah, I'd be open to that. Okay, great. Boom. Same technique. See,
yep,
once you learn the technique, then the whole world opens up to you for leads.
gotcha, yep,
Remember I said you don't have a lead problem. You have a conversion problem.
right,
So that's what I'm teaching you is how to convert a lead to a prospect. You'll meet leads everywhere. You have no idea who you're standing in front of at the grocery store or at a restaurant, or you have no idea.
sure,
But once you learn the verbiage, then you can attract it at any point. Okay?
yep,
Okay. So that's the openers. Now, I want to go back a little bit. Remember I said there's a 1.5. So put down number 1.5. This is called a transition phrase. Transition phrase.
Okay.
The transition phrase, it's really when someone, let's say you say an audio business card and they give you some positive feedback. Wow, that's interesting. Now, how do you do that? Or tell me more. Do you have some information? Do you have a website? No matter what they say, the answer is always the same. Yes, I have a system in place. That's the answer. You don't give them the answer. You just say, yes, I have a system in place, and then you roll to an opener. Because remember, the goal is to lead them to the strategy session. If they want the answer, they got to come to the strategy session to get the answer.
Right.
Get it? So I meet
Yep.
someone, they say, what do you do? What I do is I work with business owners that have anywhere from 2 employees up to 50 employees, and I show them how to reduce their payroll taxes and their HR expenses down anywhere from 10 to 40%, so they can keep that money towards the bottom line profits and increase their, even their salaries to their employees. Wow, really? How do you do that? Well, it's pretty amazing. I have an awesome system in place. Why, have you ever considered learning some ways to be able to increase your bottom line profits for your company? Yeah, I'd love to be able to do that. If you could do something like that, that'd be amazing. Okay, great. Well, since you're open to it, I can give you a free 1 hour strategy session and give you some very specific tips on how to do that for yourself, for your company. Would you be open to that? Yeah, I'd be open to that. Great. You got your calendar handy? Yeah, I do. Well, what's your schedule look like tomorrow? Say around noon, we can hop on a Zoom. I kind of go through it with you. Yeah, tomorrow I'm available tomorrow. I'm thinking around noon. Yeah, noon works. Okay, I'm gonna put it in my calendar right now. All right, what's the best email to send you that information? Okay, and what's your phone number? All right, perfect. I'm gonna send you the Zoom information right now. Did you get it? You got it? Okay, perfect. It's in my calendar too, 12 o'clock noon. And I'll make sure you give you my website. You can take a look at my website so you can know a little bit more about me. And then, at noon tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll definitely give you some very specific tips and some things you can do to be able to, decrease your payroll taxes and everything. All right, perfect. Well, I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Isn't that what I did with you?
Yep.
Right. See, it sounds like I'm just making it up, but it's very specific and very
Sure.
deliberate. Okay.
Yep.
So you see how it can work for your business? It doesn't matter the business. It's a
Yep.
formula that works. Okay. So that's how you use the transition phrase. The transition phrase goes from the opener, the audio business card to the opener. Okay. Now the opener, let me kind of go back to the fishing analogy. So the audio business card, like I said, is like your pole, your bait, and your lure and your string, right? The opener is a little different because imagine going fishing and you get out there, you're like, man, this whole thing is steaming with fish. Bears are on the other side, you're on one side, you guys are killing it, right? See all these fish swimming around? Excuse me. Sorry about that. And so all these fish swimming around, so you put this big old fat night crawler in your string, you throw it in the water, and you see all the fish come swimming. They're like, man, that thing looks delicious. They're coming over. You see them nibbling on it. Okay, you're like, okay, I'm gonna pull this fish up. You pull the fish up, or the bait up, and the fish ate all your bait off. You know why? You ain't got no hook. You ain't catching no fish if you ain't got no hook, right? See,
Right.
that's why elevator pitches don't work. Because all they are is just a bunch of bait. There ain't no hook. See, if you go fishing and you don't have a hook, you ain't catching fish. You know what you're doing? You're feeding fish. And that's what
Right.
people do when they go to elevator, they do an elevator pitch. Our company does this, and my services are that, and we do this and this and that, but they ain't got no hook. See, the opener is the hook. See, when you ask somebody and you tell them what you do, and they say, well, how do you do that? You say, well, I have a system in place. Why? Are you open to learning how to be able to do that for your company? Yes, I am. Great. Now you got to reel them in. You get it?
Right.
That's the missing link in these elevator pitches that don't work. That
Yep.
virtually every other coach and salespeople teach. Okay, that's because I
Yep.
created this audio business card formula. This is what people used to pay me $10,000 for, because then they can go to their real estate business and kill it, or they can go to their corporate company and kill it. It doesn't matter the business. You understand?
Yep.
Okay. So the third part of the audio business card formula is the invitation script. The invitation script. Now, the invitation script is how you invite them to show up to your meeting. You can invite 1,000 people, but if no one shows up, it won't matter. So how do you get them to show up? Well, you got to entice them to. Well, you've already done it. If you've done the audio business card properly, and the opener properly, they've already said yes twice. So now you just got to seal the deal by giving them something for free. What do they want? A strategy to solve their problem. So you give it away. What I can do is I can give you a free 1 hour strategy session where I can give you some very specific tips on how to reduce your payroll taxes and your HR department so you can keep that money in your bottom line. Are you open to that? Yeah, I'm open to that. Great. What's your schedule like tomorrow? Done. You just confirmed it 3 times. What's the probability of that person showing up?
Yeah, hi.
Very high. I have a 97% show ratio. I don't care if it's a week later. It doesn't matter. They're fired up and they're on time, ready to go. Because I'm not selling them something. I'm giving them something for free. I'm not making a presentation to them, even though it is a presentation, but they came to get something free. And did I give free content? Did I give some good information?
Sure.
See, and that's the same thing. So I'm going to teach you how to craft a presentation that really does give them good tips. And the way that works is this. I gave you good tips that you can go do without me. It'll just cost a lot more money and time to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing, you're going to create a presentation that the owners can do without you. It'll just cost them a lot more money, time, and energy trying to figure out how to do it without you. It's much more cost effective to hire you to do it. You understand?
Yep.
So that's how you create that strategy session, which we'll get to a couple sessions down the road.
Yep.
But that's what this does. So the script for the invitation, let me give you the exact word for word script. I can give you a free 1 hour strategy session where I can give you some very specific tips on whatever you said in your audio business card. And then you close it off by saying, are you open to that? You already know they are because you already said yes to the opener, yes to the audio business card. So why would they say no to the meeting?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Okay. You got it?
Yep.
Okay. So that's the point there. So you do that. Now, there's 3 ways to do the invitation script, three beginnings. So this is where you got to really pay attention to the person. So you have 3 different types of people out there. One person not going to give you any feedback. They're not going to say nothing. They're not going to be warm. They might smile, but they're not going to say anything, right? Because they're just stubborn. There's people that are like that. And you know what you got to do? You got to kind of ask them, are you open to a free 1 hour strategy session where I can give you some very specific tips on? Are you open to it? You just ask them, are you open to it? Yeah, I'm open to that. Okay, great. So are you open to it? Are you open to a free 1 hour strategy session? But then there's going to be that person that says, wow, that's interesting. How does it work? Tell me more. It sounds interesting. Yes, sounds like something, just kind of give you a little bit of good positive feedback. Then you say to them, if you're open to it, I can give you a free 1 hour strategy session, give you some very specific tips on. Are you open to that? So it's if you're open to it. And the third way is someone that's gung-ho. Man, that's exactly what I need. Absolutely, I would love something like that. Then you say, since you're open to it, I can give you a free 1 hour strategy session and give you some very specific tips on. Are you open to that?
Yep.
Okay, you get it?
Yep.
Okay. So those are the 3 ways.
Okay.
And then of course you ask them about the calendar. So I did it on a recording so you can have how to get it to the calendar. Because once you got it to that point, you don't have to have anything specific. It's a foregone conclusion at that point. You understand?
Yep.
But I did say how to do it so you can know to get their email, to get their phone number. I said it so you can have it on recording. I would love to see you practice going from end to end. Because this whole process really takes about 1 minute. It doesn't take that long to do. What I did is I broke it down into chunks so you can learn each piece individually. Because each piece individually is an individual component of an entire system.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So your homework for this is just to learn the invitation script. You want to learn that invitation script word for word. Because if you change the words, you change the meaning. Okay? So that's what you want to do. Now, I've had people say, well, Stephen, why do I want to give away an hour strategy session? Well, what more valuable thing can you be doing than making presentations to your target audience?
Right.
What's more valuable than that?
Sure. Yep.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And you got an
Yep.
hour with them. If they give you an hour of their time, they're obviously interested, or they wouldn't be sitting there with you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that alone is half the close. I mean, no one's gonna come with you at 9 o'clock at night or in the afternoon and sit with you for an hour in the middle of the day if they have no interest in what you do.
Right.
So that alone, you're halfway through the sale.
Yep.
So this whole process is what develops it. That's why when I've had coaches say, Steve, you're giving away too much time. You should be 15, 30 minutes. I was like, okay, you do 15, 30 minutes. I'll talk to you later. You do what you want to do. It's your business.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
you can't close a $3,000 sale in 30 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't get someone to change their whole payroll service in 30 minutes. But you can do it in an hour. You know, you can close a $20,000 sale in an hour because I used to do it.
Yep.
But now do you see how that system works?
Yep.
Okay. This is just remember I said it's the foundation? This is the foundation. So the invitation script is where you're reeling them in. So if you're open to it, I can give you a free 1 hour strategy session, give you some very specific tips on. Are you open to that? Yes. Great. Hop in my bucket, which is my calendar.
Right.
You see, that's the whole fishing process that we're doing.
Yep.
So what I'm doing is I'm teaching you how to attract clients versus going hunting for clients.
Yep.
You know, so that's what you're going to learn here. So this is the foundation. So like I said, the first day I wanted to give you this because if you just do this, you get this down and you can go end to end, you can start booking appointments in your calendar. And even with what you already present, you can close sales. Even without me teaching you the strategy session yet.
Yep.
The hardest part is putting the right people in front of you that are open to learning what you say.
Right.
That's what this does.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and then I'll be interested to get your opinion because, the one thing about that alignable,
Yes.
and so there's probably different places to go fishing, but
Yes.
every single person I talked to was a one-person business.
Yes.
Well, they're not my clients,
They're not your target. They're not your fish, right?
Right. Yeah, they're not my fish. So, that was not a good place to be fishing. So I need to
That's
learn
right. It's like fishing in
where
the ocean. Makes no
where
sense.
people that have, 5 to 100 employees are at.
That's right.
That's where
and they're there. There's networking groups with those people, and I already know where they are. I know where some of them are, and more importantly, I know how to find them.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the easy part. But that's what I was saying. Once you know what kind of fish you want, then we know where to go get them.
Right.
And it's easy to know. If you don't know what kind of fish you want, you just go to a lineup of, man, this is a waste of time, but I need to go networking. No,
Right.
it's a waste of time. LinkedIn is a gold mine for you.
Okay.
Because you can segregate LinkedIn. You can actually go find your target market. They have tools to bring them to you.
Okay.
And then you just got to know the right words to say to convert the lead to a prospect.
Yep.
They give you their name, they give you their contact information, they want to speak to someone or they wouldn't be on Lightable.
Yeah.
It's just knowing the right words to say and how to say it to get them in your calendar. You get it?
Yep.
That's why I say LinkedIn is a gold mine for you. You just don't know how to use it. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it, so I'm
That's
interested to learn.
You will, but we got to get this part down first because you learn how to use it, but you don't know how to use the right words. It's going to be a waste of time.
For sure.
Yeah. Now you understand what I meant by I said you're in the word business.
Right.
You're in the business of words. You get the words down, the business is easy. You get the words wrong, it's like pulling teeth. Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. That's the difference between being an entrepreneur and working for a company. The company already has the money, they already have the credibility, they already have the backing, they already have the success track record. When you're an entrepreneur, it's all you. You're the business.
Right.
And the business that you're in is the words and your belief, conveying your words and the belief that you can solve their problem.
Okay? Yep.
All right. So now we'll finish it up with this. It's 2 parts. When you're out doing your audio business card, when you're doing your audio business card and you're coming up with these things, you want to think of 2 things. The first one is this: people don't care what you want to say. People only care what they want to hear. So as you're thinking about the benefits and the results, don't think about all the things that you think are important. Doesn't matter. It's only what's important to them. You understand? Because
Yep.
that's all they want. They want what's important to them, not what's important to you. Because I hear a lot of people say, our company's been in business 47 years and we've made X amount of success in this and that, and this is our client, that's our client. They're thinking, so what? What's they gonna do with me?
Right.
That's what they're thinking. Then they won't say it. They'll smile. Oh, really? Wow, that's nice. But thare thinking, so why are you even telling me this? I gotta
Right.
go. You know what I'm saying? They don't care what you have to say. They care what's important to them. That's it. So
Yep.
you got to learn to craft your audio business card around what's important to them, not what's important to you.
Yep.
Okay. That's the first thing. The last thing I'm gonna leave you off with is a story of a friend of mine. His name is Harry. He has these blind spot mirrors. They're called the world's best blind spot mirrors. You put them on your side view mirror of your car, and they're adjustable. And they are phenomenal. I've been driving with them for 20 something years. I can't drive without them, right? Because you could change lanes without turning your head left or right, and it's amazing. So in 2005, he came to me. He goes, Steven, I'm having a problem. I was like, what's up, man? He goes, dude, I've been selling these mirrors onesie twosies at car shows, and I have a problem because now my voice, I have acid reflux so bad I can't even speak anymore. He had this voice box. He said, I got a garage full of these mirrors. What am I gonna do? I said, bro, we need to get you a website, sell them online, and we need to get you on QVC because you got the best things to slice bread. He was like, okay, no problem. So you help me out? I said, I'll help you out, no problem. So I built his website for him. I contacted QVC. We flew out to Pennsylvania and we got him on QVC. So we were at QVC and the lady was talking to us. And Harry was saying, these mirrors are the greatest because of this reason and that reason. Everybody needs these mirrors. The seniors need them because of this reason. Seniors need them because of that reason. And she said, Harry, I believe you. That's why you're here. I put them on my car. They're amazing. But let me tell you one thing about selling on TV. People will spend 10 times more for what they want than what they need. And I was like, okay, I got it. So from that point on, I revamped everything I did when it comes to making presentations. I stopped talking about what people needed and I just found out what they want. And that's all I talk about. So let me give you an example. When we were doing our strategy session, I asked you first up front, what's your 12-month income goal? You told me your number. I said, okay, why do you want to get it? You told me all the reasons why you want to get it. I said, what are the 3 biggest problems you have and why you're not achieving it? You told me why, and that's all I talked about for the next hour. And you bought in 1 hour. You get
Sure.
it?
Yep.
Because you pay for what you want. You get it? Not what you
Right.
needed. There's other things that you needed. There's other things I could have talked about that I know you need, but you didn't pay for what you need. You bought what you wanted. See, when people
Yep.
want something bad enough, they'll find the money. That's what I've learned. That's how I was selling $20,000 products. I just find people that want to be a real estate investor. And it's easy. You understand?
Right.
So when you're doing this, and as we get to the presentation, just remember, what do people want? They want to save money on their taxes. They want to save money on their payroll. They want to do this. What do they need to do? They need to have such as you probably got all kinds of services they need. But what do they want? That's what they're going to pay for.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to share that with you. So as you're crafting your audio business cards and everything, you can keep that in the back of your mind as you're building this system out. And so this is just day one, the first step in multiple, but this is going to build towards those strategy sessions, and then we'll get into the closing and all the rest of it after that.
Yep.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. So what's your thoughts about what you just learned so far today?
No, it's good. It's good, good feedback and a good process for sure. Nope, I
Yeah.
think makes sense.
Okay, good. So now you see what I was saying. It's hard to explain that in a strategy session because it's hard to convey the difference between what I teach and all these other coaches. It's just hard to do it. All I can do is demonstrate it, which is what I do. You know
Sure.
what I mean? So that's good. I'm glad you see that now. And
Yep.
so I'll make sure you get a copy of this recording. So here's what you want to do. Go to meetstevengregg.com. Schedule it after you're done with your homework. So make sure you got your homework done. You memorize the audio business card formula, write out the 10 audio business cards, write out the 35 openers, the different ones for each one, 5 different ones, and then memorize the invitation script. Try to go from end to end. If you can, great. If you can't, it's okay because we're gonna role play it and practice it and get the marbles out of your mouth and the bugs and stuff out anyway. And then
Yep.
after we get this down, The second stage is I teach you what's called a long form audio business card. This is the short form. This is like a 30-second elevator, right? Audio business card. The long form is what happens when you have 2 minutes with someone or 3 minutes. Now, what do you say? That's a whole different formula. So I'll teach you that next. But you got to
Okay.
get this one down, because if you don't have this one down, that one won't make sense.
Okay.
Okay. So this is, like I
Yep.
said, the foundation of your building. You got to dig a hole. You got to build a foundation. You got to put solid concrete down there and rebarb and make it solid. And then you build a skyscraper.
Sure.
That's what we're doing right now. We're digging the hole. We're building the foundation, and then we're going to lay the the building up on top of that.
Okay.
Okay. Any last questions for me?
Nope. Nope. So I do my homework and then go to your website and schedule the next meeting.
Or you can schedule the meeting and do your homework. You can do either one. I like to do it
Okay.
that way, because if you schedule it, then you have to get it done.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the kind of.
So
the
you want to
fast-
schedule a meeting right now?
No, just go to my calendar, meetstevengreg.com, and then
Okay.
look and see what time works for you, because my schedule.
Okay.
You want to probably do it now, because it'll probably be at the end of the week or the beginning of next week. See what
Okay.
time works.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, my man. I'll send you the recording a little bit later.
All right. Sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.